Good morning, everybody. I'm grateful to Chandel for the opportunity afforded to me to speak here today. And I'm going to speak with relevance to the topic of utilizing geointelligence in modern combat. Politics and strategy cannot but be done within geography. And both politics and strategy are largely influenced by the ideas and the constraint that geography imposes. Geography is inescapable. It is anything but otherwise. And we are organized, even for combat, according to environments which geography gives us. Whether it is space, whether it is land, air, sea, or the electromagnetic spectrum, if I might refer to it as another geographic medium. And as strategic agents or objects of strategy, we cannot but be open to the idea that context, the geographic context, is a permanent condition. And war and warfare has to be done in the geographic context. Of course, it will be layered with other contexts, most importantly the political, the cultural, the economic, and of course, the technological, among other things. But the fact is that there is a permanency here which we cannot escape. And therefore, if you look at how we are organized to perform in these environments our tactical tasks, we are acute with reference to that environment so that they can perform as best as possible. And that is how our equipment actually is done. That is why we have 3 services, and we've got a whole lot of other things today. So there is no getting away from this fundamental element. Now with the growth and the booming of what we call the potential of geographic information, and then the advent of the GIS system with the hardware, the software, the data, the applications, there is growing realization and acceptance that if India does not leverage this power of information, we would be left behind in the technological race. In the race not only for security, but even in the race for development. The geographic information today is not only required for military means. It is very much and is being used by various actors in this country for the processes of governance itself. Not only for the planning function, but the application. Therefore, if you look at how the government is planning it, and we have this GIS vision document which is part of the, I think, the Ministry of Science and Technology, which is now with the Planning Commission. It's a very substantial document which lays out the goals that this country has to do, because there is realization that if India does not develop this as a national capacity, then we'll be the poorer. So that acceptance by the government is not lacking. What is challenging is how do we move from the written word to the done deed? And there is always this gulf between there. We know what to do, but how to get it done? That's the challenge. Because when you look at this arena, now let me just cover the civil areas first. There is fantastic capacity already existing in the country. But that capacity has grown in individual silos by different departments of the government. And some of them have been just project-oriented. But in this process, all the people who knew about it, wanted to use it, have used it, what we lack is how do we actually harness all of this towards a common goal? How do we get this geographic information to individuals who can use it so they can be empowered individually and they will do their job? That's the challenge. How do we get this information? Where do we park it? Who needs to get it? How does he need to get it? What does he need to do? How do we configure all this? Make access easier? How do you keep it updated? How do you secure it? That's the challenge. But that's work in progress. We're still a long way to go. But that's in the civil domain. Let's look at it as far as the military is concerned. But let me just, before I talk only about the military, let me talk about the defense systems. Because today, there is nothing which can be done, or very little which can be done, which can be thought of in terms of very substantial application of force, which does not require not only the three services, but other civil agencies, including the paramilitary forces or the central police, armed police forces, and so on. So the development which is for defense itself cannot be restricted only to the Ministry of Defense as a silo which will grow. It has to incorporate the other security agencies which are there. Because this force application need not always be outside this country, can also be inside for internal purposes. But what do we see? We see that the central paramilitary forces are growing in one silo. We see the military growing in another silo, divided though it might be. Barely a connect between the two. The harmonization of these will become the larger challenge. So let's look at the military. Now, the military is organized in different environments. The world view of the Air Force, the world view of the Navy, and the world view of the Army are inherently bound to be different. They will look at the same thing but see it different. Because they operate in different geographic environments. The challenge today is, because the necessity that they have to operate together, how do we get them on the same platform? Because each one's needs for operating in that environment are different from the others. What is good for navigation for the Air Force is not good enough for navigation for the Navy or the Army. In a similar manner, there will be so many other things which have to be harmonized. It's not that it cannot be done. It's not that there are no technical solutions to it. But the fact which actually is an obstacle to solving the problem, I think, is cultural in nature. It's the fact that these three services look at it differently. It's culture, or mostly culture. Unless you accept that you need to work with the other, that you need to actually, yes, your own will be protected, but you actually have to have a common, at least have a common geographic reference system. Your requirements agree, but that doesn't mean you can't harmonize. And always, as usual, there is resistance to change. But these are things which have to be done. I have no doubt in my mind that the existing GIS policy of the services requires a drastic change. It is out of date, it is anachronistic. It does not, it is actually just each service for himself policy. It requires a review so that you can harmonize it. But as I said, this is not enough. We need to see the whole game as far as the others, because a lot of people, the Coast Guard, the BSF, in certain area or in Bangladesh, they are all operating in the same thing. They are all growing by themselves. Tomorrow, they will have to indicate a target to you. It will be on a different reference point system. Eventually, you will land up hitting a target which you didn't intend to hit. So these are issues which require to be solved. Now, there is capacity in the country. There is capacity in the private sector, in the corporate. What is the role of government? Is government to act as a traffic cop to decide who goes where and when? Or does he require to be a gardener who can actually make the fields fertile for potential to grow, trims it where he wants to, keeps it in order when he wants to, plays the role of a sort of a mentor. That this GIS infrastructure has to be made by the government, but it cannot be controlled by it. There will be something, yes. And this idea of the security restrictions which are imposed, again needs to be reviewed. We need to find solutions which are technical in nature, see how we can monitor it, and so on. The point is, we have a long way to go. We have potential in this country. We have potential in terms of human skills, we have potential in terms of technology development, we can actually get potential from outside, and that's what we've done. Right now, we are just buying software which we actually pay on a yearly basis, gets it maintained. But we need to establish a national capacity. A capacity which will put India on the forefront of this technology because we are capable. But that requires, as I said, a policy. And that policy has to come from the government. And it's actually, frankly speaking, it's work in progress. There is what is called an Indian National GIS organization supposed to come into play. The services also will have to think of even having a platform or an agency, or you would call it what you want, geointelligence agency, whatever you want. We need it to firstly direct our growth, to shape it properly, to ensure that we get the best technology, and we are up there in front, not existing with legacy system, only having grand plans which we find it difficult to implement. We need to move from the spoken or the written word to the done deed. Thank you.